I'm here with Kin Long, one of our wonderful presenters this morning's breakfast with Swiss Log here at Olympic Park. Kin, how did you find today's breakfast?
Lawrence, thanks for having me. I actually really enjoy the presentations, not just my own, but I learned a lot more intimately around what Swisslog's done with Coles, and then Coles' experiences through the whole process, and then JCar as well. And that's something you don't often get, otherwise. So it was really very insightful.
Yeah, I think all the presentations are great. I had some fantastic feedback, even about your presentation. I
Thank
mean,
you.
who could have thought an accountant assurance auditor could have such a great presentation?
Oh, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I know there was some good content and presenters ahead of me, but again, I really enjoyed presenting when I got up there. Yeah.
Well, in all seriousness, I think that the ESG reporting requirement now is really ramping up. Australia's playing catch up in many parts of the world, but in the supply chain sector, your role now is becoming really important.
Yeah, I think in the supply chain sector or any sector, to be honest, needs to recognise that ESG is here. There's a question to be during the presentation whether it's mandatory. I know I'd come back and say, look, it's not mandatory, but do you really want to be left behind and not acknowledge the importance of what it can do for your business, your people, your stakeholders, your customers? The list goes on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think consumers, and even other B2B type of clientele, you can't win an RFQ these days unless you've got ESG credentials yourself.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be caught out with is an RFQ or seeking finance or seeking tenancy at a new premises and not ticking the box for some criteria which perhaps you could have managed or
Yeah,
perhaps you couldn't have.
yeah.
But greater awareness firstly make sure that you're not going to fall foul of one of those situations.
Yeah, great. Well, HLB have been, great partners for the supply chain and forwarding sector, and many of them know, Bill and Steve doing a lot of the reporting, but now it's great they get a chance to meet yourself as well around the assurance team and auditing team.
Well, thank you, Lawrence. Yes, it's a hard act to follow with Bill and Steve being so involved. But Bill myself as a financial reporting specialist, certainly in the core around auditing financial statements, but I do a lot of work around the preparation of those financial statements. So naturally, when you're looking at ESG, it's an extra number of metrics that you're reporting in your financial statements that can add real sustainable value
Yeah.
to your business.
Well, great to have you as part of the event. Thank you for being so critical to that, and I'm sure that we're going to hear more and more about the ESG reporting requirements, and we'll love to speak to you more about that in future events.
Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks again for having me.